Ya, jadi sedikit short introduction, Toonboom sendiri itu kita establish di tahun 1994, jadi kita sudah punya pengalaman kurang lebih 29 tahun, dan kita base-nya adalah di Montreal, Quebec, Kanada, dan kita develop animation and storyboarding software for film, television, web animation, games, mobile device, training application, and education. Toonboom sendiri kita udah digunakan di kurang lebih 130 negara di seluruh dunia, and was awarded Primetime Emmy Award in 2005, 2012, among other awards. Oke, sorry. Ya, untuk slide selanjutnya, ini adalah intro yang saya ingin share ke teman-teman sekalian. Jadi ini adalah total gambaran atau overview tentang sebesar apa sih market size dari animasi itu sendiri. Jadi pada tahun 2022 kemarin animasi sendiri itu closing di 391 miliar US dollar ya di tahun 2022 kemarin, dan akan diforecast atau akan dipredik di tahun 2030 itu akan naik kurang lebih totally 60% di 587,1 miliar US dollar atau setara di 8.800 triliun. Nah, annual growth rate-nya kurang lebih di 5,2%. Nah, yang harus teman-teman ketahui bahwa di 2022 kemarin di angka 391 miliar US dollar itu kalau kita bagi per segmen, itu ternyata 2D animation itu masih 55%, kemudian diikuti oleh 3D animation itu di 42%, dan sisanya 3% adalah motion animation. Jadi baik kriteria itu seperti itu. Tapi untuk di 2023 ini kita nggak tahu lagi, karena nanti setiap tahun akan di-tracking oleh Badan Survei Internasional. Jadi kita akan lihat faktanya nanti di tahun 2024. Untuk yang 2023. Ya. Nah, dari valuasi sebesar itu yang harus teman-teman ketahui, yang penting adalah ini salah satunya, Nah, ternyata kalau dibagi by manpower, by animator itu sendiri dan by geografi, ternyata kondisi jumlah tenaga kerja di dunia animasi, khususnya animator, itu masih sedikit tidak seimbang. Kenapa? Karena masih didominasi oleh dua negara besar, which is US sama Kanada. Jadi berdasarkan studiohawk.com, US itu masih berkontribusi kurang lebih sekitar 24.000 professional animator, ya. Di follow Kanada kurang lebih 9.800, dan Indonesia yang notabene populasi kita termasuk yang terbesar di dunia, in a way kita yang terregister di studiohawk.com itu masih baru ada kurang lebih 150 animator yang bisa diconsider as a professional gitu. Jadi kalaupun data ini tidak akurat gimana-gimana, mungkin mereka tidak menganggap ada yang selebihnya dari 150 itu bisa dianggap profesional atau tidak profesional. Kriterianya juga masih gray ya. Tapi ini adalah data yang disebut oleh di studiohawk.com mengenai animation manpower size by geography. Tapi paling enggak gambaran ini bisa membuat kita mempelajari bahwa perjalanan kita di Indonesia ini masih panjang untuk bisa menjadi negara yang bisa dibilang mature dari sisi animasi, either 2D or 3D. Karena ini combine dari dua segmen. Ya. Dan seperti yang teman-teman ketahui, kita juga harus ketahui bahwa animasi itu sendiri ternyata kalau dibagi by attendance ya atau viewer, itu ternyata kalau saya ambil data dari Statista, ini adanya di Prancis ya 2021, tapi ini bisa dibilang bisa diduplikasi ke negara lain, karena saya yakin negara lain juga punya similar pie chart ya. Jadi untuk viewer animasi itu sendiri ternyata masih dominan adalah anak-anak, which is usia 3 hingga 14 tahun itu 44%, 15-24 itu 13%, 25-49 itu 26%, dan diikuti di atas 50 tahun itu 15%. Jadi ini sebagai gambaran aja kalau animasi itu memang paling besar dikonsumsi oleh anak-anak gitu. Ini juga sedikit gambaran supaya teman-teman bisa semangat lagi ya, berkreasi, membuat animasi dan sebagainya, membuat IP yang semakin bagus lagi. Saya berharap kedepannya anak-anak Indonesia bisa create banyak sekali animasi, apapun platformnya, either YouTube atau whatever it is. Tapi yang mau saya share di sini adalah YouTube. Jadi kalau kita ambil dari cartoonbrew.com, itu 10 besar channel animasi yang paling banyak dilihat oleh pemirsa di YouTube itu ada Masha and the Bear dan sampai Johnny Yes Papa. Itu jumlah kalau kita lihat Masha and the Bear channelnya tuh dilihat di 3,22 miliar orang. Nah, ini kalau kita ngelihat income mereka hanya di YouTube aja untuk satu platform, which is YouTube, itu kalau kita ngelihat berdasarkan Social Blade, saya ambil per 2 Februari ini tahun ini. Nah, itu maksimum monthly monetisasinya gede banget. Jadi kalau Masha and the Bear tuh satu IP aja dari YouTube aja income-nya kurang lebih 24 M per bulan. Wheel on the Bus bisa 13 M per bulan, Baby Shark 39 M per bulan, dan seterusnya. Tapi in a way, animasi itu sendiri adalah kerja tim ya. Jadi nggak bisa dikerjakan oleh satu orang, karena kalau kita buat akun, let's say Facebook atau Instagram, itu adalah pribadi atau personal. Tapi kalau kita udah mulai upload IP di YouTube, dan untuk membuat animasi itu sendiri, either 2D, 3D, or hybrid, dan sebagainya, itu tetap butuh tim. Jadi dengan income mereka yang besar ini juga mereka ada effort yang mereka keluarkan untuk memproduksinya, mulai dari pre-production, production, post-production, dan sebagainya. Jadi, tapi setidaknya ini bisa membantu kita untuk bisa semangat ke depannya untuk bisa mengkreasikan karya-karya bagus, terutama dari sisi animasi maupun game. Dari saya itu, Mbak Gina, mungkin nanti akan bisa dilanjutkan oleh Prasan. Karena sesi saya mungkin stop sharing ya. Saya singkat aja.
Baik, terima kasih banyak Pak Riki atas pemateriannya, luar biasa banget ya data-data yang tadi dan juga informasi yang di-share tadi sama Pak Rik. Dan teman-teman di sini mungkin yang tertarik atau mungkin udah gitu ya sedang merintis ke dunia industri animasi, itu keren banget. Dan saya juga pribadi juga ngefans banget sama animasi-animasi 3D sampai ke game juga gitu, dari kecil sampai sekarang. Jadi ya teman-teman yang tertarik untuk masuk dan merintis di dunia animasi 3D atau 2D, jangan sampai Zoominar ini dilewati. Jadi kita tonton sampai akhir karena sesi selanjutnya akan dipresentasikan dan diberikan materi oleh Mr. Prasad. So the next session we will be having Mr. Prasad for the presentation and the materials. Mr. Prasad, are you ready?
Yes. Thank you, Gina. I'm ready.
Okay.
So shall I start sharing my screen?
Yes.
You can. Time is yours.
Thank you. Okay. Can you guys confirm everyone can see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So welcome everyone. I'm Prashant, and Rick already has introduced everything, Toonboom and everything. So thank you for your great introduction, Rick. So I'll start right away. As you can see, we are going to see Toonboom Storyboard Pro, which is one of the software from Toonboom used for visualization of script and screenplay. So any of your project that uses script or screenplay or any kind of written plan for that matter, then you can use Toonboom Storyboard Pro to visualize the storyboard and animatic of that project. Okay. Did my screen something? Okay, can you guys see my screen here?
Yes, the screen is still.
Yes, can now.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so project can be anything, guys. It can be a live action, feature film, TV series, animation, 3D animation, 2D animation, stop motion, or even gameplay cinematic or game itself. Project can be anything as long as you are using some kind of written plan as script or screenplay, then you can use Storyboard Pro to visualize that project. Now, when you start the software, you see welcome screen here. You can see that you can input all the relevant data about your storyboard or project. Basically, here you can choose the resolution or work-cost format. You have options from low resolution all the way up to 8K. You can further customize them if you want to from here itself, right? You can increase as however your hardware allows you to increase the resolution. Then here you will see the list of recently worked files. I will just use this demo file, just a blank file for my demo. And also you can choose color space for your project. So let me go back here. Thank you for your great introduction. I'll start right away. Hello. Is there any question? Okay. Yeah. So what we were talking about. Yeah. So this is how you.
Halo, Prasan. Kayaknya koneksi dia terputus ya, Pak Evan.
Iya, kelihatannya ada gangguan.
Oke. Jadi untuk teman-teman, Prasan ini lokasinya di India ya. Jadi dia remote dari India. Yes, Prasan.
Rick, I'm facing power outage at my site. So if it's possible, can you guys give me like 5-10 minutes to wait?
Sure.
If it doesn't, then I'll let you know. We will postpone this session.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Cool. Okay. Thank you guys.
Oke, jadi teman-teman, sorry banget ya. Tadi perasaan ada sedikit disturbance. Jadi kita nunggu 5 menit. Nanti dia akan mulai sesinya lagi. Tapi in a way, yang ingin saya tambahkan mungkin untuk sesi pertama adalah kita udah ada webinar itu mengenai harmoni premium ya. Nah, untuk hari ini adalah webinar khusus yaitu Storyboard Pro. Jadi memang ini totally different compared to webinar yang pertama. Mudah-mudahan Prasan masih bisa gabung bersama dengan kita lagi 5 menit karena memang poin dari webinarnya adalah dia akan memaparkan semua feature, semua spek dari apa yang ada di Storyboard Pro.
Memang animasi ini terkait dengan persiapan ya, apapun animasinya, mau 2D, 3D. Jadi semoga teman-teman yang belajar animasi itu menguasai pembuatan storyboard. Nah, melalui software storyboard ini memang kita dipermudah ya untuk menghasilkan storyboard dalam bentuk printed ataupun animatic ya. Yang ini pun profesi tersendiri sih. Jadi mudah-mudahan teman-teman bisa mengikuti karena manfaatnya luar biasa. Ya, entah itu bekerja sendiri atau secara profesi menjadi storyboard artist, ya, storyboard akan selalu dibutuhkan. Mungkin Gina pernah bikin storyboard?
Kalau saya pribadi memang udah suka animasi 2D itu dari SMP dan sempat les privat gitu tentang animasi 2D. Nah, kalau dulu sih saya kalau bikin storyboard itu masih tradisional, masih di kertas gitu. Makanya ketika dengar, oh ternyata udah ada aplikasi yang bisa didigitalisasi, itu kan pasti sangat membantu ya. Apalagi dulu kan kalau bikinnya storyboardnya tradisional tuh, terus mau dijadiin animatik tuh, oh itu harus didigitalisasi lagi, harus di-scan dulu, harus dibikin lagi dulu digitalnya gitu. Jadi mungkin ini tuh salah satu terobosan yang sangat akan membantu para storyboard artis gitu. Yang profesional atau yang mungkin masih yang baru mau belajar gitu, pasti itu sangat membantu. Apalagi mungkin yang masih ingat di sesi pertama Zoominar ini yang waktu masih pakai Toonboom aja itu kan fiturnya sangat banyak ya. Apalagi kita nanti mungkin hari ini juga akan membahas aplikasi baru dan saya yakin pasti fitur-fiturnya juga sangat luar biasa gitu, sama seperti yang sebelumnya. Mungkin Pak Rick bisa spoiler sedikit fitur-fitur dari yang akan kita bahas hari ini?
Oke, jadi kalau Toonboom sendiri itu kita basically ada 2 produk ya, yang paling umum, tapi yang memang paling banyak sekali well known oleh semua studio animasi worldwide itu adalah Toonboom Harmony. Itu basically dari total bisnis kita itu ada 60 hingga 70% lah. Tapi Toonboom Harmony itu memang adalah basically backbone-nya kita dan itu adalah 2D animation software baik untuk pre-production, production hingga post-production. Tapi kalau Storyboard Pro ini another thing. Jadi ini basically untuk storyboarding dan dia tidak hanya mengikat digunakan hanya oleh studio animasi 2D, which is Storyboard Pro ini memang digunakan di banyak sekali studio animasi 3D maupun banyak sekali motion picture studio. Jadi for example kayak film-film maupun games itu juga banyak yang menggunakan Storyboard Pro gitu. Baik film-film yang digunakan film-film yang udah mengudara let's say di platform Disney Plus, kemudian Netflix dan sebagainya itu banyak sekali yang menggunakan Storyboard Pro. Karena Storyboard Pro ini nggak mengikat hanya di animasi aja. Tapi memang lebih wide lagi penggunanya. Tapi kalau Harmony memang mostly adalah 2D animation. Jadi kurang lebih kayak mengenai fiturnya itu nanti Prasan akan sharing karena dia juga akan showing dan juga sharing tentang fitur-fiturnya dan dia lokasinya di India, mudah-mudahan dia bisa gabung lah dengan kita karena saya juga nggak bisa spelling banyak sih karena fiturnya memang banyak banget gitu.
Biar langsung didemoin aja ya Pak ya.
Betul, biar langsung didemoin aja.
Iya benar, betul keren banget. Ya jadi mungkin teman-teman juga yang kalau misal ada yang pernah kuliah TV atau ikut kelas film dan TV gitu, mungkin teman-teman juga pernah lihat gitu ya, kayak misal big movies gitu biasanya juga selalu memakai storyboard ya Pak ya, walaupun misal itu adalah live action atau gimana. Saya juga sering lihat ada beberapa kayak film-film kayak yang movies yang udah gede itu mereka akan selalu memakai storyboard walaupun mereka yang awalnya dari sekedar naskah gitu ya, lalu mereka walaupun shooting live action mereka selalu butuh storyboard. Makanya kalau saya lihat-lihat nih misal kayak loker storyboard itu nggak cuman di industri game atau di animasi doang, tapi ada juga yang langsung perfilman gitu, periklanan. Jadi memang storyboard ini kalau kita ngomongin storyboard ini memang sangat luas industrinya, nggak sekedar di animasi doang atau di game doang. Walaupun tadi mungkin kita baru ngobrolinnya di YouTube animasi atau game ya Pak ya, tapi ini sebenarnya bisa lebih luas lagi. Ya teman-teman yang mungkin tertarik banget jadi storyboard artist, ini pasti bakal bermanfaat banget. Dan kita tunggu aja dari Mr. Prasad untuk sesi demonya langsung.
Sama seperti sesi yang pertama ini attendinya banyak ya, over 100 juga, iya, persis 120-an.
Nah biasanya ini pertanyaannya suka mulai ketika udah demo nih Pak. Kalau udah demo biasanya langsung mungkin ada biasanya. Iya, biasanya kalau Zoominar yang ada demonya itu biasanya peserta ada juga dan saya juga mungkin berharap teman-teman di sini juga ada yang langsung praktek gitu yang mungkin udah punya storyboard pro-nya itu bisa langsung praktek bareng gitu. Jadi mungkin kalau ada yang kendala atau yang ingin ditanyakan langsung bisa langsung live session gitu nanya dengan langsung expert dari dari expertise-nya sendiri. Jadi teman-teman kalau ada yang mau langsung sambil praktek nih gitu ya ketika sesi demo itu boleh banget, atau mungkin ada kalau yang masih nonton-nonton aja gitu ya bisa juga kalau misal ada kepo-kepo nih untuk kedepannya kayak gimana gitu, itu boleh banget bebas di sesi Q&A ini dan gratis gitu ya. Jadi teman-teman dimanfaatkan sebaik-baiknya untuk sesi Zoominar ini apalagi nanti saat demo.
Yeah, Rick, I'm still facing the outage.
Okay.
So, if we can wait, it's okay. Then if we can't wait, then I think if possible, we can postpone this session.
So is it still take a longer time?
It usually should power if it rarely goes here, it rarely goes out. But if it goes out, then it usually comes back in like within 10-15 minutes. So I don't know if it takes longer than that, then it might be some problem in the grid or something. It might take longer.
So, how do you, what do you suggest we reschedule the session into
We
this
can,
same day, or maybe,
yeah,
let's say
yeah,
maybe we stop 1 hour and then we start again like 1 hour later or something? Is that possible?
yeah, we can do that. No worries.
Oke.
So, how long do you suggest? 30 minutes or 1 hour to be exact?
Honestly, I hope that it comes back very soon. But I think let's. What is the time now? 2:30 p.m. Okay. So can we come back after like
30
90
minutes.
minutes or
Or 90 minutes.
90 minutes or 2 hours? What is the biggest gap that you can manage?
I think if Pak Irfan, kalau kita postpone 2 jam, kira-kira masuk mungkin nggak Pak? Kayaknya kelamaan ya Pak ya? Atau pindah
Ya,
hari gimana ya Pak? Saya sorry banget nih Pak. Jadi atau gimana enaknya Pak? 90 menit ya katanya Pak Hasan.
ya. Kita survei aja di sini. Mohon raise hand bagi yang bersedia. Kita mulai kembali pukul 5. Ya, mohon di raise hand yang bersedia ya, karena ini ada trouble teknis yang tidak diduga, tapi kita membutuhkan materi ini yang sangat bagus. Mohon butuh respon dari teman-teman. Kira-kira kalau pukul 5, enggak 5 ya, berarti
lebih jam 6,
malam
90 menit, setengah 6 lah. Sekarang kan jam 4 ya.
Nah,
jam 4 tambah 90 menit itu kurang lebih
5.30.
ya, jam 5.30. Sekitar 5.30.
Ya, mungkin dipandu oleh Gina, bisa mungkin kita pengen tahu responnya lewat raise hand yang bersedia.
Kalau saya lihat di partisipan ini cukup banyak yang raise hand ya Pak ya, dan mungkin juga nanti teman-teman lain yang mungkin sekarang mungkin sedang tidak ada di depan PC-nya bisa diinfokan juga oleh panitia untuk mengenai postpone dari acara ini, dan semoga teman-teman juga di jam segitu tidak ada kendala ya teman-teman, masih bisa mengikuti untuk sesi ini. Jadi sepertinya kita tunda saja ya Pak ya?
Iya, kita tunda. Prasan, so basically almost all the audience is okay if we are postponed for another 90 minutes.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Sure. If it comes back before that, I'll let you know.
Okay,
and
if it comes back before that, you can let me know, and then I immediately let Irfan and also Gina know, so maybe they can arrange shorter, faster.
Yeah. Good. Thank you, Rick, and I really apologize for this inconvenience, guys.
Jadi Prasan sorry banget juga Pak Irfan sama Mbak Gina sama semua audiensnya. Jadi daripada kita nanti ngalor ngidul ya di sini, mending kita istirahat dulu kurang lebih sekitar 90 menit. Nanti kita akan gabung lagi di jam 5.30 ya. Atau sebelumnya nanti akan dikabari oleh Prasan. Akan saya info juga ke Pak Irfan atau ke Mbak Gina.
Baik, siap.
Iya, siap. Terima kasih.
Baik, terima kasih banyak Pak Rick dan juga thank you Mr. Prashat. Dan nanti untuk teman-teman dan juga Mr. Rick dan Mr. Prashat serta Pak Irfan, nanti kami dari panitia akan memberitahu tentang linknya atau bagaimana ya. Tenang aja karena akan di grup kita akan kasih tahu. Baik, kalau begitu teman-teman kita nanti akan ketemu lagi 90 menit. Sampai jumpa.
Sampai jumpa. Ya,
sampai ketemu lagi ya jam 6.
Mudah-mudahan link yang sama ya.
Mudah-mudahan, ya. Oke.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So, hi everyone, welcome back. I think we are resuming with our demo. And as we were before, I started this demo scene of Storyboard Pro, and this is how the user interface looks like. Okay. Now, in my case, it is very loaded with tools and everything, but you can set it as per your liking. So if you go here, you can see that there are presets that come by default with software. These are presets for your workspace layout, that is a user interface of your Storyboard Pro. And you can save your own workspace layout as a separate single file that will be exported as a preset file, right? The default presets you can see here are also available in form of buttons that you can see here. Okay. Same goes with preferences. You can change the preferences. There are default presets already available here. And as per your requirement, project requirement, you can set the preferences and save them as your separate single preset file, preferences preset file. And you can see here, when you are working on live action storyboard, the terminology style that is used for live action projects is a bit different than for the animation projects. And that difference, you can set it from this preferences setting here in terminology style, as you can see here. Okay? You can set it differently for live action and differently for animation, and it will automatically switch to that mode for you. Customization is also available for keyboard shortcuts. You can customize everything. There are presets available already. So if you want your keyboard shortcut similar to Harmony, you can do so by switching this here. You can, if you want to keep them as native to Storyboard Pro, you can do that here. Okay. You can also customize everything according to you and save them as your own preset file. Now, you can also see here that we have a library window, which is also common with Harmony. And it's the same, basically. You can store anything. You can actually export anything out of your storyboard, and it will be saved as a template that you can use again and again with other storyboard projects. You can also save your reference files, such as sound files, video files, or image files in your library, where you can then access them directly from within the software, right? This is basically a folder that is available on your hard disk that you're accessing directly from within the software. Now, storyboard panel here will let you import your script. That is the first step to start your storyboard with, to import a script. And when you are importing, you can see that you can import either in TXT or RTF format, which is a rich text format. So these two formats are supported. I will use TXT for now. And with these formats, there's one more format you can say that is supported for importing script. And that is final draft script format. Okay. So using this option, what you can do is, if you are using final draft software to write your script, then you might be knowing that there is a feature in final draft software which allow you to tag things like transitions, your assets and everything in the script itself. So that tagging feature, Storyboard Pro can recognize all the tags, most of the tags, at least, that you have used in your final draft script. So for example, you have created a script in final draft where you have tagged all the transitions in the script. Then Storyboard Pro will allow you to import that final draft file as a script. And along with that, it will also import the tag information. And according to that taggings that you have declared for transitions, Storyboard Pro will give you a template, a skeleton for your storyboard project, where it will give you scene, sequences, and transitions already applied. Okay, so you will have a very nice head start with your project. You will have the number of sequences and scenes that you have already designed in your script. So that's why it's a bit separate option available here. It's not combined here with this import script option, because this is giving you a bit of an extra feature that is also allowing you to import tags along with your script if you are using final draft script, basically. Right now, moving forward, the next step after getting your script will be for you to start with your storyboard itself, right? So let me bring in this example. So for some of the people in the people who are attending this demo, if you have not attended Harmony demo, let me go back to this part of the demo where I show you drawing tools. So Toonboom software are very well known when it comes to their drawing engine. The drawing engine supports vector as well as bitmap images natively. And in this case, if I want to, for example, if I want to work on a bitmap drawing, I can just create a bitmap layer like so. And then you can see my toolbar gets switched to bitmap. Okay. Now, when I select this brush, go to its tool properties, you can see there are properties that are available here as a bitmap brush. There are presets that are available I can choose from. If I go to extended properties, I can see there are far many properties available here, right? I can go to more extended properties to control how my mouse or pen tablet will behave. So that's the level of control I get. I have all these properties to play with to design my brush. I have this ability to select my brush profile from here. You can actually create your own brush profile and bring it here as a PNG file, right? Then you have transparency, dual tip, for texture. Everything again is customizable. You can bring in your own textures and use them. And that the whole setting can be saved as a brush preset file. Okay, separate brush preset file. Now, this brush, if I use, this is like any other brush that you find in a bitmap software like Photoshop or something like that, right? It's just any other bitmap brush you can see. Now, if I want to work on a vector drawing, what I need to do is I just need to switch to vector layer, right? So you can see our whole toolbar switch to vector mode now. Okay. My brush is still selected, and when I go to its properties, you can see a bit of a difference going on here. I can still access from these many presets here. If I go to extended properties, there's this new segregation of where I can select solid or vector textured vector brush. So even if we are working with vector technology here, vector drawing here, vector image mode, I can still work with textures. So that is something very unique with Toonboom software. You can still use vectors, and they are bitmap vectors while working with, textures, bitmap textures while working with vector image, vector drawing mode. Okay. The extended properties are still available here by using which you can control your mouse behavior or pen tablet behavior. And then transparency, dual tip, and paper texture are common as we saw earlier. But as we are working with vector data now, we also have the smoothing tab available to us. Okay, so this is extra property that is available to us when we work with vector brush, right? And I already have a vector layer here, vector drawing. And when you use vector drawing, when you draw vector drawing, you can use other vector tools to select the drawing, like so. Okay, so unlike this bitmap drawing, where if I select anything with this drawing select tool, it will be selected as a whole single object. Unlike this, in vector drawing, you will be able to select every stroke individually, like so. Other vector tools like contour editor will actually allow you to edit the contours of your brush strokes, like so. Okay, and another tool like center line editor will actually allow you to change the path of your brush stroke, like so, very easily. So that's the benefit of working with vector drawing. You get this level of control, right? Now another vector tool is this pencil tool, as you can see. And the difference between vector brush and vector pencil is that if I draw something with pencil, like so, for example, if I draw something with pencil, I can still change everything about it even after I have drawn it. Okay, so that's the difference between vector brush and vector pencil. So if I select it, you can see I can still change the size and texture of this pencil stroke even after I can even change the color, right? So color, I think color can also be changed, if I'm not wrong. The color can also be changed for brush, but yeah, you can see that pencil allows you a bit more flexibility. So yeah, so brush, vector brush, bitmap brush, and vector pencil, they all have their own set of benefits. You can see how Toonboom software, then it may be Storyboard Pro or Harmony, they both allow you a hybrid approach where you can use bitmap textures along with vector technology, right? So that's a very unique thing about Toonboom software. Now, going further, when you draw something, such as let's say that we have drawn this character, okay, and in storyboard, while storyboarding, your drawings are always basic. When you draw your drawings, they will be, of course, transparent. They will be empty from inside, right? Such as this drawing here. But in Storyboard Pro, what you can do is you can quickly fill all your drawings with a solid color by using this feature, which is, I don't know what's wrong with my pen tablet today. So if I right click here, you can see that there's this feature. You will have to play a bit with your radius settings and everything. And when you click OK, you can see that the transparent drawing fills up with a solid color, right? And you can set it to create a separate fill layer, like I had done here, okay? Like so. Right. Another feature that we can use, so for example, when I enable this fill layer that I already had with my example here, I have this another brush here, that is stencil brush. Stencil brush actually allows me to use a drawing's alpha channel as a mask information as masking information. Okay. So for example, if I use this stencil brush, and let me show you that the stencil brush again will allow you to work in two modes. So there is this repaint and overlay brush mode. So repaint brush mode will actually replace everything that you draw on. Okay. So let me show you that I'm working on outline layer here. So this is the layer I'm working on, and I'm just switching on this layer beneath it. I'm still on this outline layer. And if I want to replace some part of this outline with any other color, I can just select the color and select the repaint brush of the stencil brush. And then go ahead and just start drawing this type of coloring here. Okay, like so. You can see wherever I have used this stencil brush, it actually replaced that part of this outline. Okay. If I move this here, you can see that our original black colored outline is nowhere to see, nowhere to be seen, right? So that's the behavior of repaint mode of stencil brush. Now let's say I don't want something to be replaced. I just want to add some new color information on top of my already existing drawing, and I want to use that drawing alpha channel as a stencil, as a mask, right? So let me select another color here, another unique color, and go back to my stencil brush and switch it to overlay. Okay. Now with overlay mode, I have option to create another layer that I will use to draw on while referencing my existing layer for its alpha information. Okay. So now if I want to apply this this kind of soft what you can say, rim light kind of color information, I can do so very easily using this overlay brush mode. You can see if I select it individually, I can actually, this is existing on an individual layer, separate layer, and my original layer is unaffected. Okay, so that's another behavior of stencil brush. So you can based on your preference, you can use either of these modes to work with your stencil brush, right? Now, to work with your characters, to finalize them with colors and everything, you will also need references. So this is reference view here, and reference view will allow you to load various type of references. It supports both vector as well as bitmap images, and you can load various numerous references here and travel between them using these buttons here. And when you save your file, you won't have to reload these references again when you open that file again. You just have to click on load default references, and it will load all the references that were saved with that file earlier. Okay, so that's very handy. And then just a second, guys. Give me a second. Okay, so that was the reference view, as you can see. Now, moving forward, if you find yourself in need of some kind of support from the software to clean up your drawing, you also have the stabilization mode, which is also present in Harmony. So there are two modes. One is average stabilization, which will, so let me create another layer here, like this, and this as well. So if I use this stabilization mode, average stabilization mode, it will actually average out the movement that that my hand makes basically, and it will smooth out the overall drawing that I have created. Another mode is full string. Full string mode will allow you to pull your brush with some kind of thread or leash that you can see here. Then when you reach a point in your drawing where you need to change the direction, you can take your time. You can decide how you will proceed without releasing your brush. And then you can proceed with your drawing like so. And you can see how pull string brush is allowing me to create a clean drawing while still being able to get that very sharp cornered angles, as you can see here. Okay? So these are two modes that have their own benefits. You can use them to have clean drawings, cleaner drawings. Right? Now, moving forward, let me go back to library and bring in this example here. My pen tablet, I think my pen tablet is dying. Okay, so that's how you can either drag it to this thumbnail view. And let me also introduce you to this thumbnail view. So you can see that, guys, give me a minute. Let me change the batteries in my pen for a minute. I'll stop sharing this because it's creating this kind of artifacts. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so thumbnail view will show you your sequences, scenes, excuse me, sequences, scenes, and scripts. Sorry, sequences, scenes, and panels. In my case, sequences are switched off, so you can see scenes, and to know that you're working on different scene, just have to notice the outline of your square here in thumbnail view. You can see that this square is having a darker outline compared to this one. And that shows us that we are working on another scene here, okay? And from template, from library view, I can either drag and drop anything in layer view, layer window here, so that it will be imported as a layer in my current drawing. Or I can drop it on my stage view or camera view. So it will be imported as a separate drawing, or I can drop it in my thumbnail view. So it will be imported either as a panel or a separate scene or a sequence. Okay, so there are lots of control that you have got there. Now let's say that we have this another scene and I need some more panels to work on this scene. Before showing you that, let me also mention that this particular scene was created inside Photoshop while using multiple layers. You can see that Storyboard Pro completely supports the multi-layered Photoshop file import. You can import all the layers. You can basically import a multi-layered Photoshop file with all the layers intact in Storyboard Pro, and so in harmony. Okay. Now, if I want to have some more panels in this scene, and I want them to be the same as this one, so I can actually go here and duplicate this panel, or either use this smart add panel. So smart add panel allows me to select selective layers before duplicating a panel. Okay, so that's a very nice thing to have. But right now I want all the layers, so I will just use a simple duplicate here. So I can duplicate the panels here like so, and you can see now, can see here a bit better that this particular square became a rectangle. It still is a single container that is allowing us to know that we are still in the same scene, but on a different panel. That's how the structure goes. Okay, so now we have 3 panels, and this is how you can duplicate. But what I want here is I want one of this layer to be common for all the panels I duplicate. So I'll undo the duplicate and share this drawing. Okay, share this layer of this whole art of whole panel. And now I'll duplicate this. Okay, so what this allowed me to do is it actually shared this drawing among all this duplicated panel. So now whatever I draw on this layer as a drawing. So for example, if I draw this new drawing information on this layer, this will be reflected in all these panels as well. Okay, so this layer is in sync with all these panels. Okay, now what I want is in this first panel, I don't want this layer to be shared anymore. I can go and unlink this layer here, and now I can add some more drawings here for my panel here, storyboard panel. And you can see that now only this first panel has this new information. If I switch to any other panel, they don't have that information because I have unlinked this layer from the shared drawing. If I want to share it again, I can share this, and then whatever I add anything on as new information on this layer will be duplicated on this panels again. So that's how it goes. Now, moving forward, let me bring in another set of storyboard here, another part of storyboard. But what I can do is, instead of using this view, I can go to this overview view, which I have available as a separate button here. This view actually allows me to have a very quick overview of my whole storyboard like so. It will show me everything as small thumbnails basically. And now I can go to my library and bring in this part of storyboard here, and append it to my current storyboard. Okay, and this is how it will look like. So this is my whole storyboard now, and I can go back to my workspace that I was using very easily, where we will be back to thumbnail view and our camera or stage view. Okay. Now this is how it will look. So while working on storyboard, many times you will also need animators tools such as onion skin, so that you can see what is going before and after your current frame, right? So you have this onion skin here, and you can see up till 3 panels before and after your current panel here, current drawing. But if you want more advanced control, you have this advanced onion skin button here, which allows you to toggle up till 15 drawings before and after your current drawing. That's very nice thing to have basically. It's a very powerful feature that you can get. Okay, and along with this, you can also set how the transparency and opaque part of your drawing will look like in storyboard in your onion skin of the storyboard pro. Okay, so that's the level of control you get. You can control this from the preferences, by the way. Now, if you notice that while I imported this part of the storyboard, let me go back to my overview. You can see that this is the second part of my storyboard. This is actually the fourth part of my storyboard. Let's say that while importing the parts of our storyboard, I forgot to bring in the third part. And now what happened is our first scene, second scene, and third scene are looking like this, but we actually wanted this template as our third scene and not this scene as our third scene. And the scene coming after these all scenes to be not to be scene number 3 and so on. Okay. What I really want to happen is I want this new scene to be the third scene, to be named as 003. And all these scenes that are supposed to be after our new scenes should be renamed as 004 and so on appropriately. And I don't have to do that manually here. I just have to drag in this scene and place it in between the scenes I want. And what I need to do is I need to tell Storyboard to rename this new scene as 003 and rename all other scenes thereafter. Okay, so you can see that Storyboard Pro shows me that this is how it will be renamed. This is how all these scenes that are currently named as such will be renamed as such. Okay, I'm good with this. I'll just click OK, and this is how easy it is for me to rename everything and fix my error. So my new scene is 003, and the scene that comes after is 004, and the last scene is 005. Right. So going back to our workspace again. Let me show you how this scene looks like. So let me play this scene. So this is how it looks in our camera view. Show you like this. I can show you playback view as well. This is the playback view, the rendered view. This is how it looks like. Okay, and you can see now in this scene of ours, some of the layers that are closer to camera are actually moving faster than the layers that are farther from the camera. And there is something called as parallax effect, which is recreated traditionally by Disney using their multiplane camera setup. And that multiplane camera setup is actually available for us to recreate digitally in Storyboard Pro as well. You can see Storyboard Pro actually supports this 3D space here. And in this 3D space, you can actually set your camera in 3D space. You can animate the camera. You can see if I go to timeline view, I can scrub this timeline. So I can scrub this timeline like so. You can see this camera is going from point A to point B, which is animated in 3D space. And just to show you that it is possible, the layers are also animated. But to get this multiplane camera effect, you actually don't have to animate the layers. Okay, you just need to animate the camera, and you'll get the multiplane camera effect. You just you want to make sure that you arrange your layers in at different depths in 3D space. That's the requirement here. And once you do that, you just need to animate the camera, and you will get that multi-plane camera effect, that parallax effect in your scene. That's how easy it is to set up. Okay. And you can see that the animated layers will show you this symbol that is running stick figure here. Non-animated layers will have this standing stick figure symbol. If you want to animate any layer, you just have to click this and you can animate your layer like so very easily. So for example, if I want to, so this is the layer. This is, okay, let's cancel this. I want to animate this layer, this vehicle, for example. So I can actually set the keys here. When I will click on this button, it will set a key. And when I go to my last frame, I can bring this layer here Let me go to my camera view. So I can set this layer here. Okay. This is the vehicle. And now you can see that how easy it was for me to animate this vehicle layer. Okay, and it will also show you all the spacings, the path of the animation. You will be able to edit this path. You will be able to apply ease in, ease out, and everything using tool properties. You can see that you have all these functionalities here. There's this function view editor that you can edit the graph with. Okay, so there are lots of possibilities. Now moving forward, let me go back to thumbnail view. You also have your perspective guides tool in Storyboard Pro. This is also present in Harmony. And with this tool, what you can do is you can actually create, you have all these presets for this perspective guides available to you, from normal ruler all the way up to 5-point perspective. And you can bring in all these presets. You will be able to edit the presets basically. Okay, as per your drawings, vanishing point and horizon and that kind of information, you are able to edit the presets. You can customize the guides. Yes, is there any question? Okay, so you can customize the guides. You can actually bring in different type of guides and create your own multi-point perspective setup here, and then use that setup to easily finalize your layout or background with correct perspective that is needed for that art, that background. Okay, you can see how easily it is for me to go ahead and draw all this with my correct perspective, right? So that is another feature. And the customized multi-point perspective setup that you create using perspective guides, these are actually cross-platform compatible. So Harmony's guide will work in Storyboard Pro, and Storyboard Pro guides will work in Harmony when it comes to perspective guides in both software. Now, moving ahead, let me open another scene here, another file. And here we will see some more 3D functionalities of Storyboard Pro. So we already saw how Storyboard Pro supports 3D space. And along with that, it also supports import of 3D objects actually. So let me show you. So this is one of those scenes that is using all the 3D elements, 3D objects that were created in another 3D software as its background. So let me play this scene here. I'll show you playback. You can see there's another scene. So if I select all of these, play, it will play back for me from the beginning. This is how it looks. Okay, so you can see we are using 3D objects, and our camera is also moving in 3D space. And the 2D layers that were created in Storyboard Pro are also moving in 3D space. So that's the level of control you get while working with the 3D objects. And going back here, if you have imported 3D objects as a group of separate objects, then what you can do is you can select your 3D import here. Let me go to stage view. You can go to 3D import. And what I can do is I can search for example, a lamp, street lamp or something like that. And I can actually change their arrangements like so. Very easily, okay? So that's the level of control I get in Storyboard Pro with my 3D objects, right? And I can even apply some basic animations onto these 3D objects. That's no issue. If I show you, this is the extent of usage of 3D. So the whole block is in 3D. You can see along with that Eiffel Tower. And those few 2D layers are the only 2D things in this scene. And now, if I wanted, I could actually go here and use tools like this one, which actually allows me to create a 3D layer that I can snap to a normal direction, snap to the normal direction of any 3D surface. And then if I draw something here, it will look like as if I had drawn it on that 3D surface itself, like so, right? So let me go ahead and arrange this a bit, arrange it properly. Okay, that's how it looks. It looks like it's drawn on that 3D object, right? So that's that. These are the kind of controls that you get. Then going back to another scene, you can see that we still have a 3D object used here. But in this case, what happening is this is actually a 2D snapshot of that 3D object. So let me switch off this onion skin. And this is, you can see that this is just a snapshot of the 3D object. It's not actually a 3D setup here, as we saw with our earlier skin. This is just a 2D scene. But using this 3D object as a 2D snapshot. So this type of workflow will make things lighter on your hardware, computer hardware part, where it is a 2D snapshot of a 3D object. But in case if I want to change the position of this 3D object, I don't have to go back to my 3D software to change the position. I don't have to render the camera, take the camera that will make sure that I have the same camera angle in my 3D software and then change the camera and bring both of them here. I don't have to do that logistical unnecessary steps. I just have to click on update model position here. And then I can just go ahead and change the view of this model here and render this to scene. And it will update our model like so very easily. So this is still a 2D snapshot. This is not a 3D information. Our scene is still a very lightweight scene, but I have the ability to change this object's position, which is a 3D object actually, without actually have to use that whole 3D object in our scene as a 3D information. So that's another level of control you get in Storyboard Pro, right? Now going to another scene. Let me start another scene here. And this is actually not a scene, this is a short film basically. And this is a whole storyboard of a short film. Here we will discuss more about timeline feature of Storyboard Pro. So you can see that next to, okay, I opened a different scene. I opened actually same scene, I think. Okay. So this is that another file where we have the whole storyboard. And if I keep play here, this is how it looks basically. So if I go to timeline view now, so this is how it looks in thumbnail view. You can see there's a huge storyboard here, and the thumbnails will take a bit of a time to load. You can see them like so. And this is the whole short film. And if I go to the timeline view, I now I am accessing basically the editing feature of Storyboard Pro. Okay, so in timeline view, I can access the whole storyboard as edit. You can see that I have a video track and audio tracks, okay, as separate tracks. I can have as many video tracks as I want. I can have as many audio tracks as I want. I haven't shared audio with this demo because it gets kind of irritating when I'm telling you something and the audio is playing. So that's why I don't share the audio. It's very loud as well. But I will show you audio features without any audio, but you will still be able to understand them because you have audio levels and everything to visualize. And you can see here, all these panels that we worked on in our thumbnail view are available here as video track. And depending on what mode I am on, I can actually change the timing of individual panels like so. I can drag and drop this panel somewhere else. So these are all the possibilities that you will not be able to do in actual video editing software as well. So Storyboard Pro allows you to do everything that you can do in any third-party video editing software. You can see there are lots of options available to you when it comes to video as well as audio tracks. Okay, many options, all the options that you can see in any third-party video editing software. And along with that, you can actually work with panels themselves in your audio, in your timeline view. Okay, and when you switch to animatic mode, you can also have that ripple. You can also switch off that view. So without this animatic mode, it will behave as any other video editing software. When you delete something, it will ripple all the edit, all the video track and everything that comes after that particular panel. It will snap to that position. But if you don't want to happen that, you can switch to animatic editing mode, and then you can have this gap here after you delete that particular panel, and then you can see now my change in the panel's timing is not affecting anything else. Okay, so if I want it to affect everything, then I can switch off this animatic editing mode and it will affect everything else. So that's the level of control you get. So there's something that is you are getting extra with your video and audio editing in Storyboard Pro. Now let me move to this section, and you can see here this particular scene is a scene. You can see there's this screen, some kind of screen in a sports complex or stadium. And what I have here is I actually have a finalized render for this animation, whatever goes on in the screen. And I can actually import that video with its alpha channel to be used as this part of this storyboard object here, the screen. Okay. And that is possible because Storyboard Pro actually supports Apple ProRes 4444 format. So the fourth 4 is actually referring to alpha channel here. And that format, which is a very high quality editing format, is actually supported by Storyboard Pro. If you are working on Apple Mac system, then it will support it natively. If you are working in Windows, then you'll have to install QuickTime, and then you will be able to import that track in your track here, video track here. Okay, so let me go to my assets and go to videos. And in case of Windows, what it will do is it will convert your Apple ProRes 4444 MOV file to WebM format. And then this WebM format can be easily used with your storyboard here in case of Windows operating system. Okay. Now you can see how easy it is for me to bring this file as a video track here. And now I can go to my stage view and edit this file to fit it more properly in this the screen here, like so. And this is how easy it is for me to basically view this, right? So that's the possibility here, guys. Going forward with our storyboard, with our animatic, there's one more feature here. So you can see how this is another, basically this is another example where I can show you that you can import the video track. The other example. So here, let me show you. Okay, so let me show you what goes on here. So here, let me discuss you with more about audio features. So if I go to this audio track, you can see I can add new audio track. I can import sound clips. I can actually record a new audio track in here itself in this software. And there are lots of other things that you can do with audio. You can apply audio gain. You can edit the speed duration. Okay, you can show and hide the waveforms, right? Lots of things that you can do that you typically will do in any other editing software. I can also go ahead and quickly add these keys while holding the Alt button and then drag this key down and animate the fade-in effect for this audio track, for example, like so, right? And then if I enable audio here and play, you can see there's this audio level window here as well, okay? And let me pause this and disable the play because I can't really know what I'm saying here when the audio is playing. But if you drag this audio level window, it will arrange itself into a horizontal layout. And if you drag it to its minimum, it will arrange itself to vertical layout. And this is very necessary if you want to know that your audio is not actually clipping out. Okay, so as long as the bar is under the yellow zone, so let me play this again with audio, of course. So as long as the bar is under the yellow zone, your audio levels are safe. That's how it goes. And apart from all these effects that you can apply on audio, there's another window here with the effects tab window, where you have many more effects to choose from, like balance, delay, high pass, low pass, and reverb, and things like those that you can apply on your audio tracks. Okay, so you have that ability in Storyboard Pro. Going forward, you can also apply some blur effects on your video as well. So for example, let's say that I want his cape to be a bit blurred. Then I can select his cape layer and, sorry, this is the cape layer here. Apply blur effect. So there are 3 blurs available to us: blur, radial, and directional. So let's use directional here. I can change the direction using this little button here, a little slider. And I can use the preview. As this is a raster effect, it will bake into the actual layer as a bitmap information. So before finalizing it, we have this preview button here to know that how this effect will be applied. So let's say that we are happy with this one here, and then I can click OK. It will say, it will tell me that it is a bitmap. It will bake it as a bitmap information. And after clicking OK, our layer will be having that effect applied. Now going forward, let me also show you, if you are working on a huge storyboard, on a huge project, and you are someone from admin team, then you will also, at some point in your production, you will need to break down this whole storyboard and distribute it amongst various artists. And that is something very easy to do with and track also. You can track everything, the changes and everything up till the point of reconsolidation. Okay, so everything makes Storyboard Pro basically makes it easier, very easier for you to do everything regarding that. Okay, so let me show you how it's done. So to start with, let's first switch on this auto tracking mode, which will actually allow me to know where exactly any artist has changed something. Okay. Now, after enabling the auto tracking mode on this file, I can either split this storyboard into parts or extract some selective scenes out of this storyboards from in between. Okay. Once I do that, there will be entries recorded here in the storyboard file, which will actually link with those extracted or split files that then you distribute amongst your other artists. Okay, and once they get those files, they will just be able to see that part of the storyboard that was extracted and given to them. Let's say that I am this artist and I can see just this part of the storyboard. Okay, and let's say that I change something like, let me make sure that I am using proper color here. Okay, black color. Now let's say that I have changed something like so. Okay, so you can see this panel in my timeline is showing as highlighted with this yellow color. And when I'll submit this file to you, you'll quickly come to know that this is the panel that I changed something. Okay, now what you can do is you can go to your storyboard menu, track changes menu, and validate changes. If you want to validate this change, you can just validate this from here. If you want something to tell me as a correction, you can tell me that close the eye a bit more. And without validating anything, you can just shut this validate changes window and give this file back to me. And when I'll receive this file, I'll see that this panel is still highlighting. So I'll know that you haven't validated anything as of yet. So I'll go back to this menu here and see this window, and I will get to see, so you have wrote something here, you have written something, and I will then work accordingly. So I'll close this again a bit like so, right? And then I'll resubmit this file to you, and then what you can do is you will find this okay, you will go to validate, and you can just validate this change and the highlighting will go off. Okay, and after that, once the file is finalized, then you can simply go to the entries here and click on them and tell Storyboard to import that change into your original file. That's how easy it is. You don't have to do anything manually, guys. You don't have to worry about splitting out the storyboard manually, extracting the scenes manually, then after getting your corrected scenes to bring in them manually and insert them. You don't have to do anything like that. This project management feature will track everything for you, do everything for you, and bring everything back in your original file for you. You just have to be on your creative side, and that's it. That's how helpful it is. Now, going to this export menu here, you can export into bitmap image format. So this is basically image format. It supports various image formats for you to be able to export into bitmap file. Then you have you can export layout image directly from here. Basically currently image layout images, it will give you out of the bound image, which is visible out of the camera basically, and current image will export what you see in camera, if I'm not wrong. Then you can export everything in comma separated value. This basically helps you with exporting everything so that you can work with any production tracking and management software, for example. So there's this availability. Then you have this option here that actually allows you to work with any third-party editing tool such as Premiere Pro. This particular feature will allow you to confirm everything when you take everything to Premiere Pro after working on it in Storyboard Pro. Okay, so you won't have to worry about rematching all the work in Premiere Pro according to what you had done in Storyboard Pro already. Everything will match on your Storyboard Pro edit automatically because of this option here. Okay. And then you can export everything as movie format. There are various movie formats available. You can export the whole storyboard in PDF format. You can see that there are various layouts you can use to export your storyboard in PDF format. You can create your own PDF layout as well. Okay, you can completely customize it and create your own preset of PDF layout. Then you can export all the audios as single file or separate audio tracks. You can export all the 3D information as FBX, and you can export everything to Harmony. So this is a very special feature here. So you can see that the whole storyboard is a single file while you work on it in Storyboard Pro. But when you export everything to Harmony, what it actually does is it actually breaks down your whole storyboard in in separate scenes. And all those separate scenes are then exported as single separate native Harmony scene file formats. So whatever you have included, you have created for those scenes, camera motions, layer animations, drawings, everything, audio and everything. All those things are exported as a single Harmony scene file format. And when you want to start with your animation in Harmony, you don't have to re-import everything. Your animation file will be ready with all your storyboard information along with camera motion and everything. And you can right away start with your animation. So you can imagine your scene preparation step is completely eliminated with this workflow if you are using Storyboard Pro and Harmony in your pipeline. And that's a huge production time saving for you. That's very crucial. So that's one of the very special features here. Now, before concluding our demo, let me also show you all the free resources that you can access to learn at least the fundamental parts of this software. So on Toonboom's website, you will get this Learn Portal link here. And Journeys will show you all the courses that you can pay for and learn. These are all the latest courses that you can pay for and learn from. Okay. This courses link will give you free courses that are available. And this you can use to learn very foundational things about your favorite software. Okay. You can use this filter and filter out the relevant courses as per your interest. And then you can, these are completely free. Okay. Then in community page, you have this section here where you will get all the links to the platforms that Toonboom is available on. Okay. You also have this YouTube link where you will find more tutorials, small tutorials for your learning purposes. Okay. So with this, I can conclude this session. And now, if you have any questions, I can answer them for you.
Mbak Gina, Pak Irfan. Jadi kita sekarang udah open di sesi Q&A. Perasaan akan bantu jawab semua pertanyaan dari peserta ya.
I think I have found this one question from Rosaria. Is there a stabilizer when drawing this perspective? Yes, I mean, let me go back to that particular example. And you, of course, let me hide this floating window. So wherever you are using drawing tools, let me go to thumbnail view. I'll bring in that template. Yes. This is the example that we use. So yeah, whenever, this is how you enable the guides view. And to work with, you have to select a layer you are working on and any of the drawing tools. Okay, so any of the drawing tools, when you select here, you will actually don't, while working in perspective guides, with perspective guides, you actually don't need any kind of stabilization, because it will by default snap onto the guides. Okay, and it will, so I'm not using any kind of stabilization, but still I'm able to get this clean drawings, you can see. But in case if you want to, let's say that I want to temporarily disable this this snapping here for this perspective guide, and I want to draw something freehand here, like let's say this character here. So in case of this, I can actually switch on stabilization as well and get my cleaner drawings with this tool here. So I hope this answers your question, Rosaria. By default, if you are working with this snap on, you actually don't need the stabilization, but it doesn't matter if you have stabilization on as well, because it will anyway snap onto the perspective guides and it will give you clear drawings. And if you want to, you can disable this snapping and go ahead to draw something freehand with your stabilizer still on. So I hope this answers your question.
Oke, thank you so much Mr. Prasad. Jadi teman-teman untuk sesi demonya, itu dia untuk sesi demo dari Mr. Prasad, dan kita udah masuk nih ke bagian Q&A. Jadi teman-teman yang mau bertanya boleh banget langsung raise hand, atau bisa langsung diketik via di chatnya, nanti saya dan Pak Arik bisa bantu untuk translate ke Mr. Prasad gitu. Jadi teman-teman yang mau nanya bahasa Indonesia atau bahasa Inggris boleh banget ya. Jadi mungkin ini ada we already have another question from Wayan Vicky dari Putra. Mungkin Pak Arik boleh bantu untuk mentranslate apa ini pertanyaannya?
Yeah, so the question is how to change or import this storyboard format to become a traditional storyboard, which is a storyboard sheet. Is it possible, Prasan?
I mean, you're asking about exporting it into image storyboard?
Yeah, importing this storyboard format into the storyboard traditional, which is sheet. Is it the apa maksudnya pertanyaannya ini ke paper ya atau gimana ya? Aku juga bingung juga nih pertanyaannya Mas Wayan.
Nah ini dari Mas Wayan udah langsung ngejawab iya katanya.
Oh, to import this digital storyboard format to become a storyboard in paper.
Yeah, so when you are done with your storyboard, you can actually export it to a bitmap format. So this is image format basically. You can either use this format to print out, or you can also use export to PDF to export your whole storyboard as a PDF. And then you can print that PDF file. Does that answer your question?
Udah menjawab ya, Mas Wayan. Ya.
Good.
Oke, thank you so much Mr. Prasad. Dan ini kayaknya dari Mas Wayan sedang mengirim foto. Nah ini.
Oh, so he's showing the example.
Okay, so you want me to show an example of export?
Sure, can.
Okay, so you can either go this way. So for example, if I want to export a JPG, I can export it as in my documents, let's say. And let's say that this is 001 SB, anything random I'm using here. And you can see I can set the zoom level. I will keep everything by default. There are lots of things you can edit here. You can export the entire storyboard, selected scenes, current scene, current panel. So I'll basically export everything. You can see it takes care of naming and everything. And all these files are now exported as single images, like you can see here. Okay, this is one method. Okay, and if you want to export your captions and everything, you can switch them on while exporting as well. Okay, so captions, by captions I mean whatever. So you can see that there's this panel menu here. Okay, and in panel menu you can actually write your dialogue, action notes, staging notes, etc. You can even for example, let me hide this floating window. And if you go to one of these workspace layouts here, so I'll switch to this workspace layout. And this is how you'll get to work with your storyboard. So let's say that I have this script here that I'm working with, and I want to insert a dialogue here. I can just go to my script, select a dialogue, and drag it to this caption window here. Okay. Again, all these caption fields, you can actually customize them. Okay, you can even add a sketch caption if you want to. For example, if you are working with some kind of crucial scene where you want to mention the spacing for animation, for example, just an example here, you can use this caption window to mention the spacing ladder as well. Okay, so this is just one example, and this is how you do things, and then you can export everything as images, or you can enable caption while exporting. Okay, and this is the PDF format. So basically, this is how PDF format looks like with default settings. So there are lots of settings while exporting, and you can actually customize everything. But this is how you do stuff. You can export everything, and then you can print it out. I hope that answers your question.
Sure, for sure.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prasad, for the demo, and for Wayan. Semoga terjawab ya untuk pertanyaannya tadi. Jadi formatnya memang tadi bisa di satu-satu JPEG atau yang langsung PDF gitu ya, Pak Arik ya, bersama caption-captionnya. Keren banget. Betul. Nih. Ya. Oke, dari Wayan juga sepertinya sudah terjawab ya, jadi bisa bersama dialog dan timingnya ya. Terima kasih sama-sama, terima kasih kembali. Okay, so the next question is, maybe this is like another question from Rosaria. She hopes that they have a mirror drawing too. Mungkin nanyakan fitur ya Pak Rik ya.
Yang mana ya?
Ini di atas nih
yes,
ada Rosa.
You can. There's a flip tool. There's a mirror tool here. So there are lots of things actually, guys. Yes, of course there is a mirror tool. So if I want to show you something, let me switch this on, and I can mirror this layer here. Like so, you can see if I'm enabling this thing. Okay, so if I draw something on this layer, like so, for example, I still have my stabilizer on here. Okay, I don't need perspective guides now. So if I draw something here, for example, like so, I can mirror it. And this is just mirroring the view. If you render out this scene, it will still render in its original orientation. Okay.
I see.
So this is this is just to help you with your drawing. That's it.
It's like
And
a quick
if you,
flip.
yeah, and if you want to flip the actual layer, of course you can do that in your transformation tool properties. Here are the things that you can use basically. So if you want to flip it, you have this option here. Okay, flip horizontal. So this is actually flipping the layer. Now this will be exported like this. Okay, I have edited the drawing itself. Okay, in this case, it's actually just flipping the view for you so that you can, it's easier for you to draw. That's the difference. I hope this answers your question.
Oke, thank you so much, Mr. Prasad. Jadi untuk Rosaria semoga terjawab ya. Jadi untuk yang mirror drawing ini ada yang opsi untuk mirror view-nya aja, dan ada juga yang bisa ngeflip si layernya dan juga si gambarnya secara langsung gitu. Oke, so we're gonna move on to the next question. Ini ada Stella, ini pertanyaannya cukup simpel. How to download the software?
I will answer in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Jadi untuk individual purchase Mbak Stella itu bisa langsung datang ke websitenya Toonboom ya. Jadi itu untuk any freelancer atau apa bisa langsung ke websitenya Toonboom. Dia bisa download, di sana bisa melakukan individual purchase. Tapi kalau untuk let's say institusi, either animation studio atau university ataupun SMK dan sebagainya, itu bisa kontak langsung ke saya. Itu bisa ya. Jadi itu sih cara ini.
Iya.
Ya.
Baik, terima kasih banyak Pak Rik. Dan dari Stella semoga bisa terjawab ya. Dan untuk DKV UPI mungkin bisa bekerja sama ya Pak Irfan ya. Semoga ya Pak. Nah
Siap,
gitu.
mudah-mudahan.
Yeah, okay. So the next question we have from Ciara. Hi, I want to ask a question. Can we change manual drawings to digital drawings by tracing? Thank you.
I don't get the question basically. What do you mean by manual drawing versus digital drawing?
Maybe the manual drawings means like a traditional drawing drawn by like hand and pencil and paper.
Oh, you mean to ask if you can vectorize drawings?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mungkin
yes, of course.
Ciara, ya?
So while importing anything as images or anything, you will always get the option to vectorize drawing. If you are working in any kind of Toonboom software, maybe Storyboard Pro or Harmony, there's always an option. So you can see, you can import as a bitmap, color to vector layer, grayscale to vector, black and white to vector layer. But you will have to play with vectorization engine. Vectorization engine provided by Toonboom is a very well-known in the entire world. It's a very robust engine. You have to play with it with threshold values and everything. But of course, you can vectorize everything while importing.
Oke, thank you so much Mr. Prasad. Dan untuk Ciara semoga terjawab ya pertanyaannya. Jadi bisa banget mau gambar yang manual ini di vektorisasi di aplikasinya ini. Oke, so we're gonna move to the next question. Doni, this is from Doni Satya. Sepertinya bisa. Oh, ini sepertinya lebih ke ini ya, lebih ke komentar ya.
Statement. Itu statement.
Iya, lebih ke statement.
Jawabannya iya. Karena memang Storyboard Pro ini juga tidak hanya storyboard pure, tapi juga bisa bantu dari sisi animatiknya juga. Jadi seperti yang sudah dilihat tadi setelah mengikuti webinar, jadi kurang lebih itu statement ya.
Iya, iya. Oke. So next ini dari Widyo Wibisono, Mister mana yang utama konsep atau mungkin Pak Rik bisa bantu mengelaborasikan pertanyaan yang ini?
So, Prasad, which one is the core base concept or visual in Storyboard Pro so easier to understand? Is it? Bingung juga gue.
Can you rephrase the question, Rick?
I think according to the question, is he asking in Storyboard Pro which feature or is the best one which regularly used by professional, something like that, or easier to understand?
Which feature is? I mean, in demo, we actually saw the whole pipeline that is used typically. So there's no particular feature that is mostly used, because when you create storyboard, as you saw, there are phases in the whole workflow that you follow to create a whole storyboard. So when you are drawing anything, then you will find that all these drawing tools are very useful. Then after drawing, when you are working with storyboard, then you'll see that the organizational features where you can organize your scene sequences and panels are very useful. In case of timeline, if you are working with animatic, we already saw how you can do editing all by itself in Storyboard Pro. If you want to, you can easily insert transitions as well, like so. So you can see, if I go to camera view, you can see how nicely we can transition from one scene to another. You can double click the transition and it will change the type. I think there are up to 5 types that you can play with here. So there are lots of things. There are lots of things happening here, and you will need all these things when you are working on that point of your production with regard to storyboarding. So there's no specific feature that is mostly used per se. You will use all the features as much as you can while creating your storyboard, if that answers your question.
Oke. Jadi menjawab pertanyaannya Pak Mas Widyo Wibisono, ya. Jadi fitur-fitur yang ada di Storyboard Pro ini complementary dengan fitur yang lain. Artinya gini, karena Storyboard Pro adalah professional software, jadi memang digunakan untuk production, ya. Jadi semua fiturnya dari awal sampai akhir memang mostly digunakan semua, gitu. Karena memang Toonboom sendiri, kita create software ini memang sesuai dengan kebutuhan industri, karena kita berjalan beriringan bersama dengan industri. Jadi memang fiturnya itu adalah mempermudah untuk akselerasi produktivitas kerja, terutama untuk storyboarding. Jadi memang semua fiturnya sih digunakan untuk mempermudah sih Pak. Kurang lebih seperti itu ya.
Mungkin bisa nambahin ya. Oh, silakan Mas Rik. Silakan Mas Rik.
Iya. Ya, jadi mungkin mengenai dari pengguna, mengenai dia lebih cepat belajar di fitur yang mana, itu sih masing-masing berbeda ya, gitu. Tapi intinya sih fitur-fitur yang ada di Storyboard Pro ini memang digunakan untuk mempermudah produktivitas, terutama untuk storyboarding, gitu sih.
Nambahin Mas Rik?
Ya, silakan.
Ya, mudah-mudahan memang menambahkan, kalau dari konteks keprofesiannya, tentu saja storyboard kita sering lihat di mana-mana, untuk visualnya sangat sederhana. Tentu saja antara konsep dan visual, tentu saja yang harus kuat konsepnya. Visual itu bisa sesederhana mungkin, namun kalau ditanya tentang softwarenya, kebetulan saya sudah coba juga, dan teman-teman storyboard artis pada coba, semua keilmuan tentang storyboard ada semua di software ini, tools-tools untuk membantu kebutuhan memvisualisasi. Saya hampir jarang melihat visual storyboard yang bagus banget. Yang penting gambarnya mudah dipahami, rough banget gitu, rough banget karena pekerjaannya banyak, ya, panelnya banyak. Nah, yang kuat tentu saja konsepnya ya, seperti itu. Kalau soal fitur sih lengkap sekali ya. Dan tentu saja storyboard ini akan pindah ke bagian yang lain, tentu saja harus sangat mudah dipahami. Ya, kemampuan gambar sih ya, dan sinematografi.
Tuh. Nah, itu paling benar tuh jawaban Pak Irfan tuh.
Oke.
Benar-benar ini ya, jawaban dosen ya. Jadi dosen menjawab dengan lebih baik.
Oke, so thank you so much Mr. Prasad, Pak Arik, dan Pak Irfan. Semoga pertanyaan dari Mas Wibisono ini udah terjawab ya, dijawab oleh 3 expertise nih. Oke, next we have a question from Sarifah. So I would like to ask if you can elaborate more on the scene and panel in the animation. Nah, mungkin Pak Arik juga bisa membantu untuk mengelaborasikan pertanyaannya Sarifah ini.
Okay, so basically, Prasan, I think Sarifah is need to have some detailed explanation again. If you can elaborate more on the scene and the panel for this storyboard, because maybe she is missing before or something.
Sure, no worries. Basically, any story structure follows a predefined structure that is actually an industry standard. Where in terms of live action, you start with sequences. So your story is broken down to sequences, and then sequences are broken down to scenes, and then scenes are broken down to shots. This I'm talking about live action project. Okay. In terms of animation projects, you start with sequences. Generally, sequences are also not that much used in animation projects. But you can start with sequences in animation as well, and then break them down. Your story can be broken down to sequences, and then sequences can be broken down to scenes. And in animation, you work in scenes. You don't work in shots. Okay, so typically the whole production you'll see. That is, you'll see that especially when it comes to TV series, the whole episode will directly be broken down to scenes. That's it. So you will work with scenes, and every scene will have its own length, basically. And that length, that part of story will be portrayed using these panels for that particular scene. So you can see in case of our storyboard here, this particular square here that you can see, it is a separate square existing with a different color outline. This can be called as a separate scene. This scene, as you can see, this is not a square actually. This container is actually a long rectangle with a gray colored background. And as long as it stretches out to the point where it ends here, you can see. So up till this point, we are looking at a single scene. Okay, so this is the whole strip here is a single scene. And then we can draw our drawings, different drawings as different panels. So this is how it goes with animation storyboards, basically, right? These panels in timeline view are accessible as separate panels like so, where depending on what mode you are working with, you can change their timing from this timeline view and do things like such. So I hope that answers your question. If there's any other question, please let me know.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Prasad and Mr. Rick. Dan for Sarifah, I hope that answer your question. So next, untuk Mas Widyo dan Mas Wayan yang minta kontaknya Pak Rick sudah sudah diberikan oleh Pak Rick via chatnya. So next, we have another question from Sarifah. I would like to ask, if we were animating, what's the most important thing to keep in mind when we were switching on or transitioning animation between scene?
Transitioning between scenes, that means?
Mungkin Pak Arik bisa bantu elaborasi pertanyaannya.
Which one is the most important thing to keep in mind when we are switching or transitioning animation between scene? Is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, I think the question is about how should we go with editing when we transition from one scene to another. Is that correct? Am I getting the question? Yeah. So storytelling, basically when you edit something, guys, there are many ways that you can tell your story, and your editing style will dictate basically how you tell your story, right? So there's not any hard and fast rule here, but if you can get good books or good learning resources that will allow you to learn about storytelling, good storytelling, because whatever format you are using to tell the stories, it may be animation or live action, it may be game, it may be comics, whatever format you are using, the fundamental rules of storytelling are same everywhere. Okay. And that's what it applies here in this question also. When you are transitioning from one scene to another, the most important thing that you need to keep in mind is that you are not breaking your flow of the story, if unless it is intentional. Okay. So while transitioning from one scene to another, you have to make sure that the flow of your story, the geography of your environment, your temporal, your time that is going on in story, the character that you are showing in the story, everything that is related to that current flow of your story should not be abruptly ended when you are transitioning from one scene to another. That is the meaning of the word transition itself tells you that you need to go gradually. Okay. You are changing something gradually. That is the actual meaning of transition, right? There's no place for abruptness. You can't actually jump from one part of the story to another without actually going with a gradual approach. That is the core of transitioning from one place to another in your story, basically. And yeah, so I hope that answers your question, if I got your question correctly in the first place.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Prasad and Mr. Rick. Dan untuk for Sarifa, I hope that answer your question. So the next question is from Doni Satya. I think he's asking like a computer specification. Jadi mungkin Pak Rick bisa bantu ya untuk
untuk Storyboard Pro, untuk sistem requirement-nya itu ada di sini ya. Jadi di produk di Storyboard Pro. But on the other hand, I would like to ask Prasan help to showing our system requirement for Storyboard Pro while you are already on screen. Nah, jadi ini udah di-showing oleh Prasan untuk si sorry tadi Mas siapa ya?
Doni.
Ya, Mas Doni. Jadi di website kita Toonboom Product Storyboard Pro itu ada jelas sekali ada sistem requirement baik hardware maupun softwarenya ya. Jadi Windows, Apple, kemudian untuk hardwarenya tuh prosesornya gimana, hard disknya, monitor. Jadi ini adalah requirement yang dibutuhkan untuk Storyboard Pro ini supaya optimal dalam pengoperasiannya. Jadi semua ada sih di sini. Semoga bisa menjawab juga.
Oke, terima kasih banyak Pak Rik. Dan untuk Kak Doni Satya, semoga menjawab ya. Jadi di websitenya ini udah sangat jelas, ada yang recommended dan juga ada minimumnya. Oke, semoga terjawab pertanyaannya ya untuk Kak Doni. Next, terima kasih atas penjelasannya. Sama-sama. So this is from Virgia Fan. Is there a stabilizer tool in the lower version of Toonboom Storyboard Pro
22?
20.
Yeah, so current running model for Storyboard Pro is Storyboard Pro 22. So the question is there a stabilizer tool in the before Storyboard 2022, Prasan? So I think the
Storyboard Pro 20.
Yeah, 20 and below. I mean, let's say 20 lah.
I think if I remember correctly, there should be stabilizer in 20. Let me make sure. But before 20, I am sure that there was not any stabilizer tool. So let me go to this link here. This is another link, guys, docs.toonboom.com. Here, all the user manuals for your favorite software are available for free. Okay, so if you want to check out, you can select your favorite version and just write here stabilizer, for example, write the name of the feature that you are finding, you want to find. And if it shows in that user guide, so in this case, it's showing for Storyboard Pro 20 about pen stabilization. So it means that there's this feature present in Storyboard Pro 20. But if I go to any last, if I go further below the timeline and search for stabilizer, you'll see that, okay, so Storyboard Pro, yeah, so here, yeah, 7 also says that it has that stabilizer. But yeah, this is how you can check basically. So even I don't remember the last version that it was available. You can check it out.
Karena Storyboard Pro 20 itu mungkin Prasan juga belum join ya, karena dia memang spesialis di Storyboard Pro 22, karena itu 3 tahun yang lalu ya. Nah, tapi untuk teman-teman yang mau melihat fitur-fiturnya, baik versi lamanya, saya juga udah share di chat. Jadi di https://docs.toonboom.com itu ada earlier version dari software kita, baik Storyboard Pro maupun Harmony, dan di situ bisa dikulik sendiri ya mengenai fitur-fiturnya yang lama dan yang saat ini. Ya, that is already answered the question, Bagina.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Prasad and Mr. Rick. So, Virgiavan, I hope that answer your questions. I see, thank you. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so next, wait, we have bukan question ini. I think this is the last question. Is the record will be uploaded in social media where I can rewatch?
Mungkin saya bisa jawab ya. Selalu kita upload di sosial media, nanti diinformasikan linknya ke yang daftar ya. Kemarin daftar, kita akan informasikan rekamannya ke semuanya ya. Saya akan informasikan.
Okay.
Yeah, so the recording will be available, guys. But let me mention here, when we face that current power issue, I forgot to pause the recording for a while. So there is a bit of a portion in this recording which will be there. So if you can, if it's possible on your side, just download the recording and edit that part out before you upload it anywhere else.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, baik.
That's all the question, Prasan. Ya, saya kembaliin ke Mbak Gina.
Cool. Baik. Oke, baik kalau begitu sepertinya untuk yang sesi pertanyaan sudah ditutup dari pertanyaannya Kak Irfan ya, dan kita sudah selesai dari sesi tanya jawabnya. Dan sebelum kita ke penutupan, apakah panitia sudah ready untuk ke sesi selanjutnya, yaitu foto bersama. Jadi untuk teman-teman yang tidak berkendala untuk open cam, silakan kita open cam dulu untuk dokumentasi. Ya, kita tunggu.
Baik, sambil kita menyiapkan dokumentasi dan open cam, saya ucapkan terima kasih semuanya. Mohon maaf atas segala kendala hari ini. Recording akan diupload, diinformasikan kemudian, dan terima kasih Mas Rick, terima kasih Mas Prasan, terima kasih Toonboom atas edukasi yang menurut saya langka ya di software-software Toonboom seperti ini. Jarang dijelaskan di institusi, di sekolah. Hari ini kita dapat banyak hal, mudah-mudahan bermanfaat. Terima kasih. Thank you, Mr. Prasan. Thank you, Mr. Rick.
Thank you, everyone.
Oke, kita foto dulu. Ya, buka cam-nya. Mungkin mau
pertama
ya. Silakan Hendy.
Ya, untuk page 1 dulu ya. Oke, 1, 2, 3.
I always miss this. Next time, Rick, next time, please remind me to get my
Come
camera
on.
on.
Prasan can join us.
Okay, it's okay. If you're
Halaman.
changing laptop, I'm afraid there is a problem. So it's okay not using camera. It's all right.
Oke, page kedua. 1, 2, 3. Ya, karena yang on cam hanya 2 halaman, maka udah ya. Nanti bisa disusul ya untuk yang tidak on cam.
Ya, makasih semuanya, makasih semuanya.
Oke.
Thank you.
Ya, baik ya.
You
Baik, itu
very
dia
much.
untuk sesi fotonya, dan terima kasih banyak sekali lagi, itu dia untuk sesi Zoominar Making Storyboard with Toonboom Storyboard Pro. Thank you so much once again to Mr. Prashat and Mr. Rick dari Toonboom ya, Country Manager Toonboom, dan juga Technical Software dari Toonboom. Thank you so much for this amazing session with us with DKV UPN Isola Digital Media, dan terima kasih banyak untuk teman-teman yang sudah mengikuti. Terima kasih juga banyak kepada Pak Irfan yang sudah mendukung dan selalu membuat Zoominar yang sangat-sangat keren seperti ini. Dan mungkin itu dia untuk sesi Zoominar kali ini. Mohon maaf bila mana ada salah kata, dan semoga kita bisa membuat sesi-sesi seperti ini lagi ya. Baik semuanya, terima kasih banyak sekali lagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Dina.
Thank you
guys.
Thank you, Prasan. Thank you, Rick.
Thank
you,
you,
Mr. Prasad.
Irwan.
Terima kasih
Thank you,
banyak
thank
ya
you.
Pak Rik. Makasih
Thank
banyak
you.
Pak Irfan.
Ya, thank you Gina. Good speaking.
Oke. Thank you Hendy.
Take care, guys. Take care.